Are you dying way too often as support? If that's the case, this video is for you. Hello everyone! Today we'll be talking about some key things to die less as support during the laning stage, mid game and late game. If you die first, you're likely feeling useless, your spells aren't used, your items don't matter, and eventually every teamfight will be 4 vs 5. I'll be introducing easy to remember rules you should have during the games, so your deaths will happen less often and your impact in the game will be higher. Instead of telling you to stand behind your cores, I'll show you real examples on how you should position yourself to not be the first target and still have impact. One thing I want to mention at the start is dying isn't always bad. Sometimes you're okay with dying if you are getting impact on the map. Let's say split pushing or tanking a gank for a core that wouldn't survive it. However, this is a completely different concept that I want to make a video about in the future. If you'd like to see that, let me know in the comments. Now, let's get into that. This video will have 3 sections. The first one is for the laning stage. You already know that you're supposed to control enemy camps and trade well, but how to abuse that in the laning stage and not die? Well, the easiest way is to create 2 vs 1 scenarios, where you get a good amount of harass in and hopefully even a kill. How does that apply to ourselves? Well, you can guess the answer. Try your best to not let enemies create 1 vs 2 scenarios. In the end, what matters for you is where the creeps meet on the lane. This is where you'll be spending 90% of the laning phase. You can keep that in mind and position yourself accordingly. Use your creeps as a shield, as it's quite hard for enemy heroes to kill you in the wave for 2 reasons. 1. If they commit attacks on you, they will draw aggro, and secondly, this is where your carry or offlaner are supposed to be, and that means you won't find yourself in 1 vs 2 scenario. So the next time you see that Lotus coming up and both enemy heroes are going there while your offlaner is safely getting last hits, just let them have it. Goal of the laning stage is to get farm that allows you to snowball the game. Don't give enemies easy kills. You creating 1 vs 2 scenario means you are going to die, and it's never worth dying just for Lotus. In the laning stage, it's very rare for an enemy hero, especially support, to be able to just straight up kill you 1 vs 1. At worst, they can force you to TP out. Like, let's say you find yourself in a risky place against enemy Dazzle or Venomancer. As long as you make sure you are not out of position and convenient for enemy core to connect and kill you, you should be fine. By convenient, I mean close enough for enemy core to come and kill you while not losing too many creeps in the process. For the laning stage, these are the main points. I can guarantee you that most of your laning deaths from past games are results of either overcommitting or creating 1 vs 2 scenarios for enemies. Just having this simple idea of being closer to your ally than enemies will do wonders for you. And now, let's proceed to the teamfights, so mid game and late game. First general rule for dying less during the teamfights is being mindful of your team's positioning. Every time you get yourself caught in a bad position, you just likely overstayed your welcome and didn't back off when your team decided that should be done. It doesn't matter if they are right or wrong. As support, if your team disengaged already, don't stay in a risky place just because the fight is supposed to be good. As we progress into the mid game, most of the cores will be able to kill you 1 vs 1. So the concept of avoiding 1 vs 2 trades is less likely to matter. Here, I would like to introduce you to my 3-layer safety concept. For purpose of this video, I would like to showcase my MS Paint skills. Just like soldiers in old times, as support, you are supposed to have 3 layers of defense to make it hard for enemies to kill you. The first layer is trees, showcased by the green color. You want to show as little as possible on the map. If enemies can't see you, even if they are close, you're making it hard for them to kill you. You can use any natural obstacle, high ground, trees, or even cliffs. Oh, and smoke also counts as this layer. If you know that there will be a fight, having a smoke on yourself while standing behind will not only help you reveal enemy position with the first hero that is going in, but hopefully also keep you smoke when the fight breaks out, giving you more time to use spells. The second layer is shield, so your teammates. If you are a support, it's rarely your job to be the first point of contact in fights. And to be honest, if you want to climb MMR, by being that second point, you not only learn how to properly position, but you will also find yourself having more impact. Even though sometimes it's your job to actually tank the teamfight, learning how to avoid doing that is the first step in learning when is the right time to do so. You want to learn how to use your teammates to bait the fight, so you get to cast your spells and your items. The third layer is your armor, marked by the red color, so your items and eventually defensive spells you've got. This is where all the glimmers and solars come into play. You avoided getting jumped in, your teammate is the target now. Now it's up to you to cast your spells to save him or find a way to win the teamfight after enemy committed spells. If you use 3 layers properly, you're the one that decides when the fight starts for you, and that way you can have more impact. Not getting jumped in with certain heroes can lead to having immense impact compared to what it is when you're getting killed first. And now, let me show you how it looks in a game. It's late game, we're about to fight for Roche. Smoking up, we have pretty strong idea where the enemies are. The first target that goes in is Legion Commander, as it's her job to be the shield, as her kit allows her to be a tank. Notice that while I'm moving, I'm lining myself so I have Legion Commander, or basically the heroes that are supposed to be the shield, directly between me and the enemies. That's how it's supposed to be. Shield is supposed to be in front of you, protecting you from attacks that are coming. Elsie has a buyback, and the fight is happening near the outpost, so the important thing is, we will be able to reuse her if she actually dies. Let's see the fight that eventually won us the game. Legion tanks the kill, but it means enemy heroes have committed both themselves and spells. Just because I survived, I'm able to heal up my Bloodseeker, who's really hard to kill after he survived the initial burst. Thanks to our positioning, we've won the most important fight of the game and eventually the game itself. If I died first, my Bloodseeker isn't able to rejoin the fight as he has to run away, and that way we just lose the fight. Use teammates as a shield, as they are probably more survivable and likely have items that help them survive, like BKBs and higher HP pools. You, as support, are more likely to have items and spells that help teammates survive, so it makes more sense to play like this. Because if you don't, you'll often find yourself dying, just like I did here. To avoid that scenario, make sure you use that 3-layer protection. This is a second example. Thanks to perfect representation of Immortal Draft game, we have 2 position 5s, and I ended up playing solo Skyrat against PL and Grimstroke. At this point, this game became winnable and we're approaching the high ground. For the high ground pushes, it's quite easy to predict where the enemies will be. Their likely position is to be protecting the buildings. This is how your high ground pushing formation should look like. Guy with the damage on the front, everyone else stay behind. This is especially important if you have Aegis, like we do in this case. You want enemies to commit spells and heroes on the Aegis target, and that way you get to save him or use him as a bait to win the teamfight. Despite playing against Nature's Prophet, who's able to bypass that, we win the fight and get the barracks. In short, you want to try to predict where the enemies are and have a teammate who's supposed to tank for you directly in between you and enemies, making them unable to bypass your shield. Sure, some heroes like Furion have ability to do that, but even then, he's the only one who can do it, and the formation is still going to be useful. Then, you want to use any natural obstacles you can do to hide yourself. So even if the shield is ahead of you, they can't just go around and blink on you. Third, your armor, so itemization. If it's your job to have defensive items, having 2 layers before there is a need to use them is only going to help you. So always ask yourself, who should be my point of contact, so the hero that either initiates the teamfight or the one who's hopefully getting jumped in first? Where are enemies likely to come from? How should I itemize in order to win the fight? Is it straight up buffing my cores, or maybe if I won't get initiated on, perhaps I can get offensive items to deal damage? There are many other things that can cause you to die too often, but I feel like just having common sense should help you with that. Dewarding alone, walking into enemy vision, overcommitting for kills, or not moving after using spells, these are the reasons you will keep dying. However, goal of this channel always was to create simple ideas that stick to your mind during the game, and if you were supposed to remember everything, you would have too many informations to keep track of. Just having that 3-layer concept in your mind will make it stick, play safer, and then, hopefully, die less. And if you would like to win more as support, subscribe to the channel. Keep in mind I also offer private coaching, and for that, join our Discord to find me. As for now, thanks for watching. I hope my MS Paint skills will carve into your mind to keep Dota simple, just like my drawings. See you!